It is now our honor and our pleasure to welcome in Davante Adams of the Las Vegas Raiders. Davante will be featured in a Netflix docu-series that drops tomorrow. It's fittingly called Receiver. Good morning to you, Davante. We appreciate you. Could you please start us off by giving us some idea of what Receiver is all about?
Well, I'm sure most of the audience probably heard of, at least if they haven't seen The Quarterback. So it's a little bit of a spinoff of that. Only difference is this one is a lot more interesting, obviously. Got some of the most dynamic players in the world getting together. Me, JJ, George, Amon-Ra, and Debo. A little bit of everything, man. It's going to be a little bit of our lives, get a little peek of our lives, get to watch us practice a little bit, watch us interact, with within the organization, a little bit of trash talk on the field, and just kind of ultimately get inside the mind of an elite athlete in the way we attack our business every single day. So I had a great time filming it. Honestly, it wasn't my first choice coming into it because I'm kind of a private guy and I don't really have a lot of my stuff out there in the open for everybody to see. I kind of pride myself on being a little bit more mysterious. But when I talked to my wife, I talked to some of my friends, family, even some of my teammates, they all encouraged me doing it. So definitely glad we did it.
So Tay, do they catch you at the house with the kids, going around school, taking them to school, some of that stuff?
A little bit of everything, man. We had my daughter's fourth birthday at the house, so we got to catch some reactions of some of her classmates and their parents that didn't know that I was who I was. They see my wife dropping off my daughter at school, and then she said, "Hey, you want to come to the house for Deja's birthday party?" And they go, "Oh yeah, of course." And they get the address, and then they show up at the house, and they're like, "The heck is going on here?" Like I didn't expect this. So, and then you have the ones that obviously did know. And, it's cool to kind of invite them in, have them follow us around, going to gymnastics class, just a little peek inside our lives, man. It's real cool.
Very cool. So talk some Raiders. What will it mean to you that Antonio Pierce is now officially your head coach?
I mean, we really just picking up where we left off. And it wasn't a whole lot in my mind where I was thinking, any other possibility, really, just based off of the way, you see how it looked the week before he got, made the head guy, and then the week after, it was two totally different products out there on the field. And you can say what you want about the New York Football Giants, but still a team that's in the NFL either way. So we went out there, rallied together, and he was able to pull something out of some guys that maybe they didn't even know, they had inside themselves. So to me, that's how I measure a true, great head coach, or at least a guy that has the potential to be a great head coach, is how much he can demand from his guys. Similar to what, you and I, Key, what we were just talking about, Coach Dub. Sometimes you have a guy that's the third receiver and you think maybe you need another guy to, come in and replace him. But sometimes you just need a new coach, man, to, help that player realize his true potential. And come out there and be able to display it on the field every single Sunday.
Well, no disrespect, Tay, to your quarterbacks at all. No disrespect to them. But you don't have any household names at the quarterback position. So I'm feeling like there's going to be a whole lot of dungy ball, running the football, dinking and dunking this year and playing defense. And if that's the case, how will you go about approaching this season knowing that you may not have as many opportunities that you may have had in the past?
Well, the way we play the game ain't going to change, man. At the end of the day, you look at my career at this point, for Aidan or Minshew or whoever you want to look at this point, if you were trying to decide if I was going to be the player I am today based off of what you've seen in the first 2 years, you would have never said that this, I would have been sitting on here talking to you guys about being on a docu-series on Netflix. You would have never imagined that. So sometimes you can't count your chickens till they hatch, and, give guys an opportunity to get a little bit more experience and get out there, and things change, man. Because like I said, I'm the ultimate example of that. I went out there and laid a couple eggs my first couple of years. My rookie year wasn't a complete disgrace, but then the second year, double back, and this was supposed to be the year that I was supposed to come into my own and to assume a little bit of a bigger responsibility. And I kind of, in essence, dropped the ball on that. So for me, I don't like to count anybody out until they all the way out. So I see a lot of promise in Aidan right now, and the rest of the guys are going to keep working, and we'll figure out a way to make this thing work.
So what did Aidan O'Connell show you last year as a fourth-round rookie?
We came in with a different level of confidence, man, and you guys. I mean, I know Key for sure. You know how this goes, but sometimes you have a young guy come in, throw into a guy, or vice versa, and when it's a guy and it's somebody that you really it means a lot to you, and you want to bring your best every single day, and you want to make them really trust you. It's not easy to come in and win over the number one guy like that. So I think part of it is the learning curve and understanding how to just maneuver through the NFL and figure out how to play with your guys. And Aidan's on his way. He came in with a different level of confidence. Wasn't all shaken up at the fact he's throwing to Davante or Jacoby. It was just kind of like playing football, and that type of confidence is what kind of got me believing in him.
Tay, y'all are looking up to pass the Kansas City Chiefs. You beat them last year, obviously. That was a big win for y'all. How do you take the next step, though, in getting in front of them and pushing them down?
We got to win a Super Bowl to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, we can win the last game. We play against them and all of that. And that, that's obviously, that helps us mentally as we move forward, beating a team on Christmas, on the road. At that point in the year, it's not easy to do, especially when it's the best team in football. They earn the right to be able to say that consistently now. So for us, we just got to come in and one foot after another. And it sounds boring, but that's the only way to do it, especially when you're playing against a team that's been doing it at a high level for such a long time. We can't really knock them off their horse just by coming in and winning one game at the end of the year. It's going to come down to at least taking care of them the right way both times we play them, if it's not hoisting that trophy at the end of the year.
So back to your quarterback situation, a lot of speculation pre-draft that you would maybe trade up to snatch one of the quarterbacks. 6 of them went in the first 12 picks. How surprised were you that you wound up at 13 with Brock Bowers?
I mean, based off my conversations with AP and some of the other guys that make those decisions, I wasn't too surprised. It was something that was brought to my attention before it happened. I knew we were basically just going to go with what we felt was the best available at that time. And I mean, after seeing Brock obviously coming in right now and with the kind of the situation we have, I would have loved to make the quarterback room a little bit more competitive, maybe, but. At the end of the day, I mean, you look at these highlights right here. This is what I saw all OTAs.
Yeah.
We did a panel. I get in front of the rookies. I'm trying to talk to them about what's to be expected, try to make them laugh a little bit. And Brock Bowers is sitting there like this, just locked in, businessman. No, not laughing at nothing I'm saying. He ready to go. And that's the type of player that I love to see. He probably gonna come in driving a pickup truck, and that's how it's supposed to be. Come in locked in and all about business.
Hey, Tay, tell me this, because I didn't get a chance to ask AP last time I talked to him. Is Jack real, huh?
He real, man. He real. He got a different level of swag to him. He's something, man. He's definitely one of the most athletic people I've ever been around, too. People don't really know that, but super athletic. He's a little undersized, obviously, but he makes up for it in his toughness and his mindset. So that's a guy that as soon as he came in with us, he made a splash, and we definitely relying on him to make some big plays for us to be the team we need to be.
So Davante, are you still the best receiver in football?
I don't know, Skip. What do you think?
Why you gonna ask him that? You asked a receiver, though. Think about that.
Well, if I ask Keyshawn would say you're still the best receiver,
Absolutely.
right?
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll say, man, because really, no disrespect, but I'm done making, top 5 lists. Am I the best? Like, at this point, I'm trying to continue to stack success so that I can have that jacket when I'm done. I want to, 2 things that's on my mind is hoisting that trophy before it's all said and done, and putting that jacket on. So I don't know how many guys that are playing right now can have that conversation and not feel silly talking about putting that jacket on. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but that's the only answer I got for you right now. I'm working for bigger things than just trying to be the best receiver in football, currently.
So what I think about you is I believe you are still uncoverable. And I do hurt for you occasionally. You've had decent quarterbacks, but you haven't had that lately top-level quarterback. Maybe one of those will turn into that next year. I don't know. But when I watch you, the routes you run, and your ability to explosively separate, I don't see anything better, but that's just me. And with your experience, if I factor all that in, I would still rank you as the top receiver, but that's just me. You disagree, Keyshawn?
No, I don't. You know the way I look at it, Skip and Tay, I don't look at the numbers because I can get him 200 catches if I choose to do so.
Absolutely.
So the numbers don't really mean anything. Yeah. It's a matter of what is he bringing to the table? When is he bringing it to the table? Can I rely on him on 3rd and 9 when the entire stadium know that Tay is getting the football? Yeah. I bet on him. No, I don't bet on the DB. So that's how I look at it. I don't care that somebody caught 100. You better catch 140 balls. They throwing your ass 260 of them. So I don't worry about the statistical side. I just, what are you bringing to the table? Or do they fear you? Or are you a red dot guy when they sitting in the meeting room? And I think he is, for sure.
Well said. So, Davante, do you miss anything about Aaron Rodgers? Just being around him? Whatever. Anything?
I miss a lot about Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean, obviously, you know, the greatest quarterback to play this game, and that's my opinion. There's millions of opinions, but when you talk about a player's ability to just lift up another player, we were just talking about that with Coach Dub, AP. Like, I think about the days in Green Bay where maybe Aaron would be, you know, he wasn't at OTA practice versus the days he was there. And that was before I really looked at myself as somebody that brought up everybody just by my presence, you know, being physically there and just how you affect the defense and just the, you know, the whole tempo of practice is just different. So when you have a guy like that, not only can he throw the ball, but he literally makes everybody play to the best of their abilities because it's one of those things. And Josh McDaniels and I used to have this conversation. He got to the point where he got tired of screaming at all of us and yelling. He would bring the captains in and say, they need to be fair in y'all. Like, they need to be worried about you guys. And that's how it was with him. You know, everybody was afraid to let Aaron down because you saw what he bring every day. You see the intentionality he brings to practice. You know, his football mind was unbelievable and obviously a great friend to all of us. So I miss a lot about him. And, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So I think that's another why I miss him so much. But, you know, great guy, greatest thrower of all time. So a lot to miss for sure.
Well said.
Yeah, I echo the same things, except never mention Josh McDaniels when you're talking to me, please. Because I hurt for you being in that system and dealing with that situation. But I said that you didn't. That's all.
No comment.
No, I don't want you to get in trouble. No comment. I said it. You didn't.
All right, Davante, outside of yourself, who is the best receiver in football?
Justin Jefferson.
Why?
I think he is, like, we talk about how the numbers and everything, right? And they definitely are not. And I think over time, I think just because of how many great receivers there are right now versus even 10 years ago when I got in the game, you think of three top guys. You know, it was Julio Jones, it was AB, and it was whoever, you know, maybe one other guy that you can, you know, spin out of there every year and have them in the top three. Whereas now you got so many dudes where it's hard to even say, you know, they ready to bump you out. They don't want to keep the same king in there because there's so many guys that you got to give everybody a turn to be in the top 5 or whatever, you know, essentially. So, but when I look at his tape, I look at a dog. I look at something that's really underrated is, you know, he does this now. Their offense is not very, I don't want to talk down on offense, but it works, but it's not a whole lot going on. I mean, they run a lot of the same things, a lot of crossing patterns, and these dudes know, but the way he can set it up and the way they run some throwbacks off of the, you know, some of the routes that they run and keep the defense honest, he really knows what he's doing out there. He's starting to become a little bit of a figure in the league as far as it's not just the gritty and the gimmicks and stuff that, you know, maybe thought there was at the beginning, which he did revolutionize the game with that too, and that's very underrated. But his ability to run routes and understand how to create separation. One thing people don't talk about enough is the boy can catch the ball like up there with some of the best of them, you know, and you don't look at him one-handed and everything like how O used to do when we got in, but you talk about catch rate and throwing the ball up, jump balls, and just falling in love with that football. You know, I admire that about him. So he's a dog. He plays real hard, and you know, he's a showman too. It's hard to be a showman. You get out there and show up every single week and put those numbers up and help your team win. And he's been doing that consistently for I think like 4 years now. So first year we saw it, we weren't all like, yeah, for sure, he's going to be this forever. But now we're starting to see, man, this boy is healthy. This is what you're getting.
So, Davante, got to let you run. We will look forward to the dropping, not of the football, but of Receiver on Netflix tomorrow, and we'll see some behind-the-scenes Davante Adams.
People on that Netflix with him ain't dropping balls, Skip.
No, they're not. Nobody's dropping any balls.
No.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.